NASA's Artemis 2 mission just wrapped up. The crew splashed down on April 10th, 2026, off the coast of San Diego, and the world is still losing its mind. And honestly, fair enough, because what these 4 astronauts pulled off was the kind of stuff that makes you stare at the ceiling at 2 a.m. wondering what you've done with your life. We're talking broken records, solar eclipses from space, an emotional crater naming moment that had astronauts crying in zero gravity, and a re-entry where everyone was quietly terrified but pretending they were fine. In this video, I am counting down the 5 best moments of the Artemis 2 mission. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll feel like you were on that ship. The mission lasted 9 days, 1 hour and 32 minutes. They traveled a total of 694,481 miles. And in those 9 days, they did things no human being has done since 1972. Moment 5. The launch. Humanity goes back to the moon. April 1st, 2026, 6:35 p.m. Eastern Time. The largest rocket, currently flying on planet Earth, ignites its engines, and 4 humans begin their journey to the moon for the first time since 1972.
And here we go. 10, 9, 8, 7. RS-25 engines lit. 4, 3, 2, 1. Booster ignition. And liftoff. The crew of Artemis 2 now bound for the moon. Humanity's next great voyage begins.
Good roll pitch.
Roger, roll pitch.
Houston, now controlling the flight of Integrity on the Artemis 2 mission around the moon.
Integrity, AMT high.
AMT high.
On time passing 30 seconds into the flights. Integrity passes the alternate MECO. Target milestone. Mission Control Houston seeing good performance on the 4 main engines. Space Launch System core stage. Integrity, 3 miles in altitude. Traveling more than 1,200 miles per hour.
54 years. That's how long it took us to go back. The moment is so massive that ISS astronauts aboard the International Space Station, orbiting 250 miles above Earth, press their faces against the windows to watch the launch streak across the sky below them. Even astronauts in space were starstruck by this launch. Moment 4. The emotional crater naming. It's Flight Day 6, April 6th, the day of the historic lunar flyby. The crew is approaching the moon, and in that moment, Canadian astronaut Jeremy Hansen radios mission control. He doesn't talk about the technical data. He doesn't talk about the instruments. He asks if the crew can name a couple of craters they spotted on the lunar surface. 2 craters. The first, named Integrity, after their spacecraft. The second crater, named Carol, after Carol Taylor Wiseman, Commander Reid Wiseman's late wife, who passed away from cancer in May 2020. Reid Wiseman carried her memory 252,000 miles into space, to the moon, and now, permanently, pending official approval from the International Astronomical Union, her name will be on the surface of the moon. And the crew broke down, right there, in zero gravity, in the most remote location any human has ever been.
A number of years ago, we started this journey in our close-knit astronaut family, and we lost a loved one. And there's a feature in a really neat place on the moon, and it is on the near side, far side boundary. In fact, it's just on the near side of that boundary, and so at certain times of the moon's transit around Earth, we will be able to see this from Earth. And so we lost a loved one. Her name was Carol, the spouse of Reid, the mother of Katie and Ellie. And if you want to find this one, you look at Glushko, and it's just to the northwest of that, at the same latitude as Ohm, and it's a bright spot on the moon. And we would like to call it Carol, and you spell that C-A-R-R-O-L-L.
Wiseman later described that moment as what forged the crew, the moment they became truly bonded. Look, Space travel is full of technical achievements and record books. But this is the thing that reminds you that it's still human beings doing it. People with grief and love and loss, strapping themselves into rockets and going to the moon. And somewhere up there on the far side of the moon, there is now a crater that carries the name of someone who never got to see any of this. Moment 3, the 40-minute blackout, alone behind the moon. As Orion swung behind the moon during the flyby, Earth disappeared from the crew's view in what they called an Earth set the moment our planet dropped below the lunar horizon. For about 40 minutes, the longest communications blackout in human spaceflight history. The crew of Artemis 2 was completely alone. Mission control went quiet. The Deep Space Network, NASA's interplanetary communication system, couldn't reach them. Earth's radio signals couldn't bend around the moon. The 4 astronauts were, at that moment, the most isolated human beings who have ever lived. A retired astronaut told CBS News what that moment is like. They'll know they're the only eyes watching the safety of this vehicle, and they'll feel the onus of that responsibility, all while looking out the window. And what were they doing while looking out the window? Seeing the far side of the moon, the side that permanently faces away from Earth, the side no human I had ever witnessed in sunlight from this close. They reported craters, ancient lava flows, surface cracks. They described color nuances, shades of brown and blue that help scientists understand the age and composition of the lunar surface. They were basically doing live geology commentary from behind the moon in a capsule the size of 2 minivans. And then, as they emerged from behind the far side, Earth reappeared, and Earthrise. Christina Koch, one of the mission specialists, described it as one of the biggest highlights of the entire trip. Having the first glimpses of planet Earth again after being out of communication for about 45 minutes. It really just reminds you what a special place we have. She said that floating in space, farther from Earth than any woman has ever been. Moment 2, humanity's farthest journey, breaking Apollo 13 record. For 56 years, the record for the farthest any human being has ever traveled from Earth was held by the crew of Apollo 13. You know the story. Houston, we have a problem. Oxygen tank explosion. The mission goes sideways. 3 astronauts make it back alive using nothing but duct tape, math, and sheer stubbornness. And in the chaos of that disaster, as Apollo 13 swung around the moon on a free return trajectory to save the crew, they reached a distance of 248,655 miles from Earth. For 56 years, no human being had gone farther. Until 1:56 p.m. Eastern Time, April 6, 2026. At that exact moment, the crew of Artemis 2 crossed Apollo 13's mark, and they kept going. They didn't stop at the record. They flew to 252,756 miles, a new record, the farthest any human being has ever traveled from home, ever, in all of human history. Jeremy Hansen, speaking from aboard the Orion spacecraft, delivered a line for the ages.
Cabin of integrity here as we surpass the furthest distance humans have ever traveled from planet Earth. We do so in honoring the extraordinary efforts and feats of our predecessors in human space exploration. We will continue our journey even further into space before Mother Earth succeeds in pulling us back to everything that we hold dear. But we most importantly choose this moment to challenge this generation and the next to make sure this record is not long-lived.
Moment 1. The solar eclipse from space. All right, number 1. This is the one that broke NASA scientists. This is the one that made the crew go completely silent. This is the moment that, and I cannot stress this enough, no human being in history had ever experienced before. During the lunar flyby, as Orion passed behind the moon, something remarkable happened. The spacecraft, the moon, and the sun aligned. The crew of Artemis 2 watched a total solar eclipse from space. From behind the moon, they could see the solar corona, the outermost layer of the sun's atmosphere, the ghostly halo of plasma that's only visible during a total solar eclipse, appeared around the darkened edge of the moon. And then it got even wilder. In the darkness of the eclipse, with the moon backlit and unlit, the crew spotted 6 light flashes on the lunar surface. meteoroids slamming into the moon at thousands of miles per hour, creating new craters in real time. They watched the moon being impacted. Scientists back on Earth in the Science Evaluation Room at Johnson Space Center, they lost it. NASA's lunar science lead Kelsey Young described it at a press conference. There were audible screams of delight from NASA scientists when the crew reported these impacts that the scientists were not expecting. They were not expecting this at all. Commander Wiseman described seeing Mars during the eclipse, the planet, visible in the darkness of deep space. And he radioed back to say all of them, all four of them, were thinking about the day humanity reaches Mars. Christina Koch used the exact eclipse viewers NASA had made for the 2024 total solar eclipse, except this time they were 252,000 miles from Earth, floating behind the moon. First time in history. This was, by every account, the most jaw-dropping moment of the mission. A total solar eclipse in deep space. Meteorite impacts. The corona of the sun Mars in the distance. The splashdown, they made it home. After 9 days, 1 hour, and 32 minutes in space. The crew came home. The Orion capsule hit Earth's atmosphere traveling at Mach 33. That's 33 times the speed of sound. Nearly 25,000 miles per hour. The capsule became engulfed in red-hot plasma. Mission control went silent for 6 minutes. Another blackout, this time from a heat shield's interference. The parachutes opened. The capsule slowed from 25,000 miles per hour to 17 miles per hour. Splash, off the coast of San Diego. April 10, 2026. NASA spokesperson Rob Navia said, "From the pages of Jules Verne to a modern-day mission to Moon, a new chapter of the exploration of our celestial neighbor is complete. The crew were recovered. They're fine. Great, actually. Okay, so what comes next? So what does all of this mean? Artemis 2 didn't land on the moon. It was never supposed to. It was a test flight, a proof of concept, to show that the Orion spacecraft, the SLS rocket, and 4 very brave humans could survive deep space, fly around the moon, and come home in one piece. They did it. Next up is Artemis 3, scheduled for next year, where another Orion crew will practice docking with lunar landers in Earth orbit, and then Artemis 4 in 2028, when 2 astronauts are set to land near the lunar South Pole. The first humans on the moon since 1972. The road back to the moon is officially open. And somewhere farther down that road, past the moon, past the craters that now carry the names Integrity and Carol, Mars is waiting. Artemis 2 was a beginning for humanity exploring the cosmos. If you made it this far, thank you, genuinely. Drop a comment telling me which moment hit you the hardest. And if you're not subscribed yet, well, you've already watched Artemis 2. You're clearly one of us. I cover every space news from all over the world. So if you'd like to stay updated with space content, make sure to hype and subscribe to me. I will see you in the next one. Till then, take care.